Hi everyone, Raid Runner here, and this is the second installment of our 6-minute guide to hero builds in the last spell. Poison heroes are today's focus. I'll cover possible weapons, key attributes, challenges you might encounter, and then perks that you should keep an eye out for. With any build in the last spell, the key is to identify the win condition and double down on it. Hopefully by the end you'll have some good ideas on how to use that new hero. As always, there's a PNG linked in the description below. Up first is what I consider the classic poison build. The druid staff will be our primary weapon, and we're going to use bees to spread poison via propagation. As a secondary weapon, I like rifle for the slow, but hand crossbow and even tome compare okay. Maybe even consider 2 druid staffs. Attribute wise, as much mana or mana recovery as possible on the primary side. For secondary attributes, whenever possible pick up poison damage or propagation, and then stack either isolation or opportunism, depending on your weapon choices, as this will be your elite damage. The general strategy is spread as much poison as possible and then slow the wave down. Perk wise, I tend to find the poison tree is not overly helpful, so I focus mostly on mana and damage perks. Up first is potent toxins. Extra poison damage, nothing else really to say. Harvester, return mana for enemies killed. Thrifty, lower the cost of bees. Quick reload, refresh bees, apply more poison. Avid learner, more levels is more chance for plus poison damage. Runic gift, plenty of nice attributes on trinkets to synergize with our builds, and they give extra mana. Volatile reaction, almost mandatory, diagonal bounces are huge. Big game hunter, maybe an option for killing elites within the wave. That finishes up the rundown of the propagation build. Up next, a multi-hit build. This build takes the opposite approach to the first one. Instead of hit and hope, it very specifically targets poison onto enemies. Weapon-wise, dagger or hand crossbow are the obvious choices. Wand has some multi-hit synergy. An orb can help out if you need that extra bit of AoE poison, or have stacked isolation. Mana is again the key primary attribute. Flat damage can also help, as we are likely aren't stacking critical. Secondary attribute-wise, poison damage and multi-hit are always helpful. Isolation, stun chance, or skill range can also be valuable. In terms of your perks, Septic Shock. Stun if poisoning an enemy that is already poisoned. Useful for elites. Epidemic. If you're targeting well, this is a great way to stack spread poison when enemies die. Energized. Spend mana, get actions. What more do we need to say? Blink. Maneuverability is always useful for these kinds of characters. Longer weapons. More range equals more targets for that poison. Quick reload. More poison. Are you seeing a theme yet? Initiator. More multi-hits before killing an enemy. Given poison ticks at the end of the turn, this is a good way to stack some free damage. Lone Wolf. This build has the ability to operate alone, so let's make them even better. That finishes our targeted poison build. For our final build, we have a different take on the poison tree. We're going to charge in with the perk that poisons nearby enemies, and then stack enough defense to survive. Weapon-wise, anything with some opportunism attacks is good, as everything nearby will be poisoned. Power Staff, either one-hand or two-handed axe, or one-handed hammer, all work well. For primary attributes, health and mana are the obvious choices. Stacking some form of defense and synergizing with perks is a must if you want to survive the night though. Secondary attributes, poison is always good, as is healing received and opportunism. This build has to watch out for elites, so make sure you've got a strategy in mind. In terms of perks, Poisonous. Apply poison to enemies within range 3. This perk defines this build, absolute must. Toxic Leech. Heal from poison damage dealt. More enemies poisoned, more healing. Organic Armor. Extra healing received, and you can swap that armor you've been stacking for health. It may work for you. Berserk. Scaling damage when attacked. Likely to happen a lot, and means as the night goes on we get stronger. Harvester. Mana for every 4 enemies killed. Useful with that mana hungry power staff. Magic Fuel. More damage based on available mana. Could pair well with axes. Coagulation. Armor is increased by health regeneration. Pairs well with organic armor. Mana Shield. Spend mana, get block. Again, pairs well with that power staff. You seeing a theme as a power staff here with mana? That completes the melee poison build. Lots of options with this. That's 3 very different ways to use the poison tree in 6 minutes. I deliberately haven't provided perks from other optional trees, as all of these builds can work regardless of the other trees, but now that you know what to look for, make them even better by picking the appropriate pairings in those optional trees. I hope I've given you some things to think about the next time you're starting a run or are at the inn. If you use any of the builds, drop me a comment and let me know how you got on. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to get the job done. If you want to see the builds live, check me out at twitch.tv/RaidRunnerGaming. If you want to see more videos like this, then you know what to do. Like, comment and subscribe. Thanks for watching.